Good morning to you, and welcome here on my working table and in my studio. I really felt for making some collages today. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of it when I stood up, and then I was thinking about, oh, I want to play with papers and glue and so on today. And then I got thinking about it is a long time since I've been doing something here in my square sketchbook. And this sketchbook here is 20 by 20 centimeters, and it is dedicated for making collages that are made with very thin papers, because the papers, the pages here in the book aren't very thick papers. So to obtain that it still is a somewhere flat book, I have decided only to use thin papers like tissue paper, deli papers, and yeah, a little other things also, because yeah, sometimes it needed exactly that paper, and if that wasn't tissue or another thin paper, I would use it. That was one thing. And the other thing is I won't go to the edge. I make them all crazy sizes here, uneven, and so there will be right borders, not straight borders, but wonky borders all around them. And here under the little word more, I will put a link for, I think there is a couple of other videos where I make these green ones, and perhaps also the previous ones here I think also is there. So I will link to these videos here under the little word more. And everything else I'm talking about, linking, you can find there under the video. So here is what the page I will start on working on in a second. But before we do that, these papers here, they are the last of the papers I have from the session where I was jelly printing with pen pastels on my jelly plate. And again, I will also put a link here under for that video. And some of them are on printer paper, and some of them are on medical exam paper, I think this is. And then I have been in my other, I have a drawer with a lot of papers in. And I divide my papers up, you can see here, in these plastic sachets here. And in this here, there's only very thin tissue-like papers. But then I also divide them up in colors, and it can be many other things. And I have papers enough for the next 2 lives, I think. But I like to print papers, and not all of them are masterpieces, but you never know when you will have a paper you don't think is very much, but suddenly you can use it for something. But these are the papers here from the jelly printing session with the pen pastels. And then I really like this one with a big blob on. I don't know if we'll use it here. This one here is sprayed with Set Aptos sprays. You can't sadly buy them anymore, but the brand was from I think that is also an old tissue jelly print. And beside that, I have also decided to put perhaps some dry tea bags in. They are also very thin and translucent. And then I have these gold papers. It is some very cheap papers. I bought them on Amazon, and I think they are called Just Paper, and I think they are made for celebration of something for the, I think, Chinese people. I don't know if they wrap something in them or they burn them or something at a specific thing if there's a holiday or something else they celebrate. I really don't know, but it's a nice color, but take care when you glue it. Don't have glue anywhere else because it will go off, but it's a nice color. And the last thing I was thinking about, all the other thing that's in this book here is abstract, and that is also my working way. Sometimes I like to have a focal point you can see what is. So I have been in my box with images I have saved. So I have these different kind of shells, seashells. So we have these here. I don't know if they will work. Perhaps they are a little too big, but it also depends on if I'm cutting them, or fussy cutting them, they won't fill so much as it does now. But this is what I have to work with here today, and I think I can make one of at least two. I think I can make here, and that is perhaps enough for this video. So yeah. Else, the little peep I want to say before I get started is below here I have a link for my Ko-fi account if anybody feels for supporting my work here with my challenge, or my work here with my with my YouTube channel here. You're more than welcome, but don't feel obligated in any way. So here we go. I decided to use this paper here in the collage. And then I have this one here with yeah, I must have cut something out at one point. But thinking of the curve of that makes me think of the curve of this one. And perhaps I can, yeah, I don't know if I can fit it in here. But I think since they are quite big, these images, I want to fussy cut them. So I have a small scissor for that. So it is just following the line here. And you can see I ain't moving my scissor, it's the paper yeah, of course I'm doing that, but I don't go that way. And it's my paper I'm moving. Not difficult, and I think I would let that be there. I think that's the way yeah, I don't know what it's called in English, but in Danish we call it a nautilus. Perhaps it is the same thing. I don't know if it looks like a kind of octopus, I think. So, and here, let us remove the white edges of the paper here. There and there. And these two more. And isn't that a nice sound? Tearing paper and fabric. It doesn't sound so loud as when I tear the fabric. So now I have a piece here that is yeah, perhaps that doesn't work. After all, but I like that curve there with that. So perhaps I should just say this is what I'm going for and tear this also. And away with that. And yes, here I think I will tear with my fingers. me. I haven't been speaking very much so far today, so I have to have my voice in gear. looks quite funny. I like that edge and that edge. I'm not sure I like all these very straight lines here. And I think that perhaps it's to either that has to go up there and I cut something of that off and put another piece down here. Because I really like that there. So let me see here. If I tear a little of this off here so that isn't so straight for the first thing. And I just tell you what I think, and there could be thousands of other ways you can do this, but sometimes it's very nice to hear what others are thinking about when they are doing the job here with their collages there. And tear this also. So if it ends up like this, you could say that's the curved piece of paper that gave me the inspiration for how this collage ended up looking. And that is much better. There. And then I perhaps need a strip of something down here. Is that too pale? Yeah, perhaps it is too pale in this case here. What else do I have? I will rumble a little more around with my papers and see if I can find a piece that perhaps will work. Perhaps this one, a strip of this one, but I will be back in a... I really think this works, and I have torn a strip of this paper off here so I can put this down here. But I think I need to put a little of this, pull a little of this off because it's too big. I want more white here, so there would be really the same amount of white all around the collage here. So I will just remove a little of this here. There. That was better. There. There. And then this can go here. I think I need to pull a little more off here. Or tear a little more off, not pull. There. That I like. That is what I will go for. So now I will put this in the bin and find something where I can put my glue stick on. So I will just show you how I glue it down. And perhaps we can put a little piece of gold in somewhere. It's just some old book pages I use for gluing. But a little trick for gluing this in. First of all, if you're not as sure you can remember where to put your pieces. Right now I think I can remember because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and that isn't many pieces. Sometimes you can have a lot more pieces. The little trick is you can set a little mark here and say this is where you should keep your papers inside. So it is easier. So this is just what I will be doing. You can see the small marks are there now. So here I will just use my glue stick. Of course you can use matte medium or whatever kind of glue you prefer. But in this case here, well, it's just as for my own amusement and keep myself entertained or practicing, or what we can call it. I just use a glue stick and this, put them in this book here. So there and there, and then I dump it, and sometimes that gets some wrinkles, but I don't mind. But if you do, you can always take a cloth and then burnish it down here. And I can see there's missing a little here. There. It is always a little more whimsical, flopsy to glue these very thin papers down. And so it must be. So again here I can see this is where I should hit the marks. There. And there. There. Yeah, and I forgot to put glue here on this long strip here. But I think I could just do it here instead. And I don't mind that this edge is totally straight, because in a second I will cover it up with the next piece of paper. There. And there. And there, this was there. There's something delicate about these thin papers, but they are to a certain extent translucent. You can see a little up through here, and here you can also see a little of what's beneath here, and I really like that. It's my favorite colors, these colors here, and I know many of you are not into these earth colors. So now the $100 question is, where do we put it? Do I want it down here, or do I want it up here? Both things I think could work. Again, the rule of third. These four places here, your eye really wants, or likes to see if you have a focal point. I wouldn't put it there, plingling in the middle. I would prefer it there or up there. It doesn't have to be exactly there, but in these areas here, it is like you divide this piece up in 9 equal areas, and where the lines are meeting there, the focal points looks many times the best. But certainly your eye really likes to see it there. Yeah, then I also have this gold here. Can we do a little gold somewhere? A strip down here perhaps. And here, really don't have glue on your fingers, because then it will tear the glue here of the paper. Not the glue, the gold of the paper. I don't know what it's made of. It is very soft, brittle paper. So that's big chunk. Can I perhaps make it a little smaller? It can't hurt anybody with a little bling bling, but yeah, there. I think that looks nice. So now perhaps I have some glue that's not dry here on this. So that is what I mean. Don't put it down there, then the glue will be sitting there. So I'll just take a leftover piece here of this and really don't try not to touch it. Yeah. And this hand here is clean, I think. Yeah. But I don't mind a little of it is disappearing. So I like that, and I think I will go for it down here. There. So not so much more discussions and not so much more overthinking and taking a lot of time. Just do it. It's, as I said, this here is for my amusement, and it isn't going to hang on a museum or anything. So, but of course it's important you like as you like what you're doing. So here it is. Not many pieces. I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, but yeah, it ended up this way here. But I think the time is so I can make another one. I think I will go with these 2 papers, even though they are copy paper. So I will just quickly remove all the white borders, but you don't need to see that. And I think this could work with this. But I will be back when I have removed the white borders. I know I talked about putting this in here, but I don't think I will do that. I know I want a big chunk of this, and I think it would look very nice with this tea bag paper overlapping something perhaps like this. So what do a wise woman do? I turn a little of this off here for a start. This here, I think I will use so much of. And there is a connection between the 3, because this the 3 for the 2 so far. But if I make a 3rd one, there is also for that. There. There. And I think I will let it go over. But there. I had to cut strip of this off here, and where is my ruler? It is here. There. And also here on the bottom of this. So let us have a look. There and there. There, and the tea bag there. It looks quite funny with these peaks here. Perhaps this is better, like that. And then I have this image and this image. And by the way, these images you can find for free at Pixabay and Unsplash. And what I do, I save them on my computer, and then I put them into a Word document, and then I can size them up and down. So very often I have a copy paper with this image in 8 different sizes, so I can use it several times if I want to, and very often I want to, because if it's an image I like, then I would like to use it again. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I think I will go for this. I don't know where I will put that yet, but it in this area here somewhere. And then I perhaps can put a gold stripe down here. So this is what I will be going for here with this collage here. So again, I will glue this on, and this on, and this on, and then decide where to put this. But you don't need to see all this gluing I showed you on the first one, and that must be enough. So I will show you the piece when it's glued, the papers are glued down. Glued down. So now I have to decide where this piece wants to go, and I think it's too much the same. The peak or the top of it disappears here, so I have to pull it so far down as here, I think. And then there was this strip left over from the last collage, and I think I want to put it here and cut it off here like that. So there. So this is what we will glue down. And here. Down there. These tea bag papers are really, really nice papers, and there's all these marks on. I really like them. And it's a free source. Yeah, of course you have bought the tea bags with tea in and drink it, but normally it would just go in the bin when you have done that. But I really like to save them and use them here. So that is that, but I think it needs a little gold somewhere, and I have this strip from last time, or from the last one, but I don't like it like this or like this or anything, but I think a little piece of it up here in the corner there perhaps could be okay. But there's nothing to else but try and see how it looks. Yeah, that is much better. That is what I will go for. And again, not in the wet glue here. Up and there. And again, I place it so it doesn't line up there or line up there, so it goes like a little stair. So uneven edges, that is the way I do it here in this book. And I can take my black Stabilo all perhaps and give it some lines. I don't think you can see them here very much, so it doesn't matter here. But do I want them here? Yeah, I don't know. I can also just let them be. But I think time is so good, so I will make a third one, and then I think I have played enough for today. So let us see what I can come up with for the last one. This is the last of the thin papers I have with from the jelly printing session with pen pastels, and this is the last piece. So to make some connection between the three things I made today, I will use this also. So I just tear it there, and then the edges needs to go off here also. Let me quickly do that. Yeah, it is a little, yeah, what can we call it? There's something loose, yeah. Why on earth won't it like I won't? You could easily do it so quick so you tear it. And I don't want that. Yeah, I don't want to tear it, but then I have to decide where. And it's not the ruler that decides that. So away with these small bits here. And then I also have this piece of paper here. So let us see. I think I will just go for half of it. And the top and the bottom. Off with that also. There's a little peak there. Looks like the mouse has taken a bite of it. There. And then there's this here that can go. Under here perhaps. Yeah, that I like. I just don't like this, so again a little of this off. And that here. And then I think it is there. So again, think of the different heights you can have here, like this. Then it goes zoot, 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 zoot. And then I have this piece here. And yeah, in the best of world, I would have liked to have it inside this. This is the place I can see it the most. But yeah. Do I put it there? Oh. Yeah, perhaps I wanted. Yeah, what do a wise woman do? We try to go the other way around. There. Because then I could put it there instead, and I think that is better. If I'm supposed to see it and what it is, I think this way around is better. I hope you could see what I mean. It drowns a little in these papers, this image here. So this is the way I will be gluing it down. What I was thinking about just putting a little of that up here, but no, I don't think so. This is the way. So again, my little pencil here. And there. So I will also glue these on and be back. Those of you who know me, I don't like these white marks in my jelly prints, and you would probably think I'm sick or something if I didn't do something about that. So I will. Not much, but just a little. And then I take my water brush and just go over it there. And now the tricky part is to sorry, to stop and not keep on. So this is how this one will look now. Sorry, I have just a moment. To be sure not to smear this page, I just put my gluing page in between, and here there isn't much to come after except perhaps just there. And yeah, you perhaps think I'm crazy, but I know, and I probably am, but yeah, there and there. And the last one, there you can see there's a white mark there and a white mark there, but in this case I will keep them because it's such a dark paper and it can need some light here. So these marks here I won't do anything about. So it's not always I go in and over with my Caran d'Ache, but very often I do. So yeah, I will take some close-ups here at the end of the video, and then I will say a proper goodbye to you. I hope this video here has give you inspiration, so you want to try to make some collages yourself. And as you can see, you don't need a ton of paper, even though I have a ton of paper, but that's because I like to jelly print. And nobody says you need to have jelly prints to do collages. You can use old magazines or catalogs, travel catalogs, or whatever you can get your fingers into and cut things out you like the look of it, and at one point you will have enough materials to go for it, and set them up perhaps a theme for yourself, or say I will only use these colors. In these collages there must be a tree somewhere, or it can be many different things you want to put into your collages. The only thing you need is a glue stick and scissor if you want to cut something out. What else? I tear most of the time. I like the torn edges here. So I really hope you will give it a go, and I hope this inspiration here has given you blood on your teeth to go for it, and that would make me very happy. I really enjoy sitting down, just letting things happen and involve and then see what comes up. When I start, I have no idea what it would end up looking like. In this case, I did know I had these 4 small images that they perhaps would end up in the collages, but there's no guarantee for that either, because perhaps I didn't like it and then I was going to figure something else out. So for me, it's very relaxing to make these collages here. And I put them in this book here because I couldn't plaster all my house on with collages on every wall or square meter I have here. So many of my things ends up in books, because then they can go in on the shelf, and it doesn't fill up the whole house with with all these things I'm making. So that was just this day's little exercise or inspiration or challenge or what we can call it. So if you have been enjoying my video, please give my video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very much appreciated. It is going very slowly these days here. Nothing much has happened. I think both YouTube and Instagram and Facebook has put a cork in somewhere between me and all you out there. It feels like nothing is coming out, but again, I really don't know, because if people don't comment or give me a thumbs up or whatever it is you can do, of course I don't know it. So that can also be that, of course, but hit the notification bell if you want to follow along with what I'm doing, of all the different things I'm doing on my channel. And again, I would say look at the playlist and find what interests you. If you're not into slow stitching but only into collaging and jelly printing, look for the videos with that and skip all the other ones. So find what interests you that way. So yeah, I don't think I would say much more today, other than please be playful and creative and keep your mind sane with that. And also, please take care of yourself and people around you. And not but least of all, try to be nice to everybody you meet. And smile to them. A smile is the shortest distance between two people. And that is what can make your day. If you are a lonely person or somebody who don't speak much with anybody every day, smile to somebody and I'm sure you will get a smile back. So bye bye from now, and see you soon again. Hej hej.